Good day, everybody. Welcome to another episode of DOD45. I'm Ty of Art by Ty, and today on the show, we have Blockhead. Which is really exciting. Blockhead just released an album with Aesop Rock.
Spin doc, sweet dreams go Hitchcock. Discord with no sick days. Limb straight, then all rips stop. Faded ink on my rib cage. My glass heart, my shit brains. My Jaguars around beautiful New York strip steak. Ain't shit change. Through the love of these blueprints have been shoot have been boo.
And it's no secret how much of a fan I am of Aesop Rock. But I realized doing the show, something that I have realized from doing the show, I never really paid a whole lot of attention to producers until we started doing the show.
Can I just admit to the fact that I didn't even know what a producer was until like a year ago?
Yeah, you can admit that.
My brother makes some beats sometimes and stuff, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I produced this." And I was like, "Did you play the trumpet on that song?" And he was like, "No." I'm like, "What? Explain it to me." So yeah.
Well, yeah, and one thing I learned from you're not embarrassed to admit stuff that you. I used to get really embarrassed to admit something I didn't know.
I'll admit that I know nothing.
Well, or anything would be the proper.
See?
that was just going on a joke, but so hey, listen. So I wrote down some things about Blockhead. You know, he went to Boston University, which is probably not a ton of interest to us.
Wait, isn't that the most racist university there is?
Don't say stuff like that, because where'd you get that information? I have no idea. I don't know. And that's
not saying that he's racist.
No, I know you're not, but that's quite a statement to put out there.
Maybe it was the city of Boston.
Yeah, and how can you say that? That sounds like that's a weird thing to say, babe.
Okay.
But I mean, listen, if that's what you
heard it somewhere.
I know, but now it's just who knows? Because how do you gauge that? You know what I mean? Anyway, that's where he met Aesop Rock. And I think you'd be surprised that I'm going to be doing very little discussing of Aesop Rock as far as what I'm planning on having a discussion with him about. I guess maybe you wouldn't be surprised, but being the fan I am of that. But I'm not the type to do that whole droning on sort of business about as I'm droning on.
Are you not?
I'm really not. What good is that? I mean, I want to talk to Blockhead. I want to know about Blockhead, not... You know what I mean? Like, if I ever get the chance to talk with Aesop Rock, then we'll talk about with him. But anyway, so listen, I hate that term. So he grew up in Manhattan.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how you say that. Some people say Manhattan. He's on the Ninja Tune label, which is a label out of London. They do have.
I thought you were going to say Ninja Turtle.
He's on the Ninja Turtles label. So, you know, I immerse myself in the music of the guests who we're going to have on the show for like the few days leading up to when we're going to have them on. So this morning on my run, I was listening to the Garbology album. That's him and Aesop Rock's latest album. And I have listened to that album from start to finish probably about 50 times. And that's not hyperbole, but there's that fucking word again. I've used that quite a bit lately, that hyperbole. I guess that Brain Games app is working. Anyway, I lost my train of thought on that. Oh.
You've listened to that album a lot?
Oh, yeah, quite a bit. So I listened to it from start to finish today on my run this morning. It was one of the better runs that I've had in a long time because I completely checked out and I came up with this whole story while it was like building a story, this album. And so I want to paint a picture for you real quickly of what I came up with in my head. So, and this is what I came up with as you're listening in chronological order, the album. So a couple of friends are wandering in a nearby field or a forest. The trees are all dormant. Multicolor autumn leaves are blanket the ground. And they come across, or they're kind of walking along an old ditch, and they come across one of those old metal tube, or, like tunnel things that the ditch leads into. And they slowly enter, and their explorations in there are imagined throughout the rest of the album play. So,
I don't know what you just said. You kind of went
attention.
Janet on me. I wasn't sure where we went. No, I was paying attention.
I was painting a picture of what
this is what you were imagining when you were listening to the album.
Yeah, I really was.
Is that because of the lyrics?
No, I don't. It was none of that. I was seriously, when I like I said, I immersed myself in their music, so I've got every Blockhead song that I can get my hands on, even ones that he remixed, all of that. I've built a whole playlist of it, and for the last 3 days, that's all I've been listening to. So I'm focused heavily on the production. So I really was not listening to anything that Ace was saying on it. I was just this, I don't know, the vibe, the feeling felt like that. So
well, when I just ran to Costco, and we were out of coffee, so I had to run over there and grab a few things real quick. And I can't handle shopping.
Mm-hmm.
For all those people out there that say that women just love shopping. Not.
Do you think they're talking about grocery shopping though?
I don't
I think they're talking
clothes
about
shopping.
Yeah,
I don't like any shopping. It just stresses me out and gives me anxiety, and my heart just races. So I usually just put an earbud in and zone.
It's a great technique.
I was listening, and I usually listen to a podcast or something, but then I get tripped up in, somebody walks into me or something, and I don't listen to what people are saying. So, pardon me, a podcast isn't a great thing for me to listen to when I'm shopping. But anyway, I was just listening to his Werewolves Loves Astrology album that just came out in 2021. That's this year as we record. And it was super chill and calming. In fact, I didn't have any sense of time. I forgot that we had to do this right away. Right away. And
yeah, I texted you hey, how's it going?
Until you text, and I was like, oh crap, is it already so late? But yeah, it was really good and set a good chill vibe. And
yeah, most of his albums that are just the production albums, just instrumentals, they're very chill vibed.
I love the way it started with this awesome piano sample. The whole album started that way, and it kind of sucked me in from the get-go.
Yeah, he's got a very distinct style with his music. I was going to say like LP does, but then I don't know. Who knows if they're friendly or not, so maybe they don't like to even be discussed in the same sentences. Who knows? I don't know why I'm so concerned of that. But I guess I am. So, hey, here's something that I did read about him. His dad, Sidney Simon, he was a pretty famous painter and sculptor. And one of his most famous pieces, if you ever wanted to look it up, it's at the it's called the Four Seasons Fountain, and it's on the public plaza at the One Worldwide Plaza in New York. And if you see it, it's the one where the people are holding there's 4 people, and they're holding the world, a circle, not the world, but a big circle on their shoulders.
One at
not the one at Rockefeller Center. Oh. But it's very similar. See it there? You're bringing it up. Yeah. You've seen it. I mean, so his dad.
Oh, his dad made
did that. Yeah, and then his dad also has this really beautiful painting. It's the formal Japanese surrender aboard the USS Missouri. He was an official war painter. So he painted, I mean, that's what it said, official war painter. And I think with that, he would paint scenes of things from the war.
War?
Huh?
I wonder what war.
Probably World War II. Wait till I'm going to ask him about
how old is
yeah, you wait.
Blockhead?
Okay, I'm going to ask as soon as Blockhead as soon as he comes in, as soon as he logs in, I am going to ask him this question because, and don't look into it because I want. Don't look into it because I want to get kind of surprised by it.
We have a friend who had children very late, and
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, because that's part of a discussion.
I'm assuming, but
yeah, let's not go into any more on that because I want to ask him about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, check out that painting. I don't know what it's called, but it's what I looked up. It's like the formal Japanese surrender. See that painting? I don't know. It's a really cool painting. It's in watercolor too, but it doesn't have a title. I think it's just called former surrender of Imperial Japan. Maybe that's what it's called.
The USS Missouri.
But yeah, he's so that's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, so I'll ask him just a little bit about that when he logs in. And that's all I've got. That's a good way to lead in. Oh, you want to know something I was going to say? I this morning I got a text from Soul, which was really cool. And I don't know, it's just cool to me. But it didn't say any, it just had quotations of lyrics of a song that my daughter made. And that's on Spotify.
Our daughter.
Yeah, our daughter. Sorry. But yeah, it was, the lyrics are, I don't get sad, I have a dad, or something like that.
Speaking of which,
cool. Yeah.
did you do your Spotify year? Oh, my phone's recording
Yearly
that.
listen?
Yeah. Did you get your...
I'm sure I got it. For some
you didn't
reason,
look?
I don't really engage in that because I've listened to so much, but that might be interesting.
I had 91 genres that I listened to
Wow,
this year.
look at
And
you. What do they email you?
No, you just push on it on the app and it shows you.
Oh, shit, we're
and
right here.
my
Let me
top
look.
artist
Okay, let's hear it.
was Nale.
Oh, that's our daughter.
I should get a Mom of the Year award.
You do listen to that a lot, huh?
I do.
Where do you click? What is it? Oh, your top songs or everything?
Well,
Year in review?
Yeah. And
All
then
right.
also in my top 5 podcasts was Propaganda by the Seed, Souls podcast.
Oh, look at that.
But I think that, so I didn't listen to it as much because I think that I was struggling to find it on Spotify. I think they mostly had it on those other platforms.
So what do you do? Your artist revealed? Or come on, what am I doing? What am I seeing here?
No, go up.
Top tracks?
Scroll up. Right there, that big green thing.
Oh. All right, let's see.
It's a whole story. It
Oh,
takes
this is
forever. You
gonna
can't
take
fast forward
forever.
it.
Oh, come on. I don't want to. This year was anything but normal. Well, God, like you guys want to sit here and listen. Ready to get into the thick of
You
it?
can kind of fast forward through some of it, but you'll miss
My 2021 and action.
I bet it was Aesop Rock as your top. Versace was it was like my number 2.
And what's a movie without soundtrack? Opening credits. Oh, I've listened to a lot of Prof this.
You always listen to
I know. I did listen to a lot of Prof this year.
I have to be honest, when we were getting ready to interview.
Oh, look, here's my Kill Your Masters. That's my
Oh, really?
one of my top.
Oh, so there, it just goes through and says
That's Bad Guy, Billie Eilish. Boy, how long are they going to make this thing?
Yeah.
Can I fast forward?
Yeah, you have to kind of fast forward to get to
Playing box fan.
because it's just kind of going
Okay.
into grandma mode.
Here we go. You spent 109,000 minutes listening. That's more than 99% of the listeners in the United States.
Wow.
That's all I do is listen to music.
I think that was more than Nale's, and she listens to it all night. Those podcasts.
I listen to it nonstop. My song of the year was Sleep Drone, Superposition by POS. That's easy.
Oh, I don't know.
Your top song of the year was Sleep Drone by POS. Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs.
I think mine was Nale's Suicide Game.
But that wasn't the only song in your rotation. I have a certain playlist for my running too, my workout.
I know. I just got a good idea from Nale's friend. She says they say that they listen to Amazon or Apple Music for their musicals, so it doesn't mess. So I'm like, oh, that's
so it doesn't mess up there. I don't really care what it ends up. Here are my top 5. You want to hear them?
Yeah.
Sleep Drone by POS.
Okay.
Unjinxed by Four Fists.
Yeah.
That's POS
one of my favorite
Astronauts. Yeah,
songs.
that is a great track. Oakland Ave, Cattle Pass. Oakland Ave Cattle Pass by Sims. That song's awesome. Ghost featuring Tech Nine. That's funny. I didn't even realize Tech Nine was on that. And we've talked to several people that we've had on the show about Tech Nine and how I don't listen to Tech
All
Nine.
I can hear is that Tech Nine. I don't think I know any
That's
of his
my number
music.
4. And then Future Shock, Sims. That was my number 5. I'm really a big fan of Sims. I'd love to try to get him on the podcast. Now what? And then the rest, is the rest boring?
No, because then it'll tell you like your top. You're only halfway through.
Well, I know. I don't know how to fast forward.
I know they don't have.
It's going to take forever.
Fast forward through. Just
How do I fast forward? You can just
don't
press?
know how to watch stories?
How well do you know you? We're talking to 3 a.m.
Oh, it'll give you a quiz.
Let's play 2 truths and a lie. Oh, I don't want to do that right now. The artist who appeared the most in your playlist was Atmosphere. That's maybe true. The podcast you binge listened to the most was the Independent Artist Podcast.
That's
That is
true.
true because I don't listen to any other podcasts. Oh, shit. Well, I lost it. Yeah. Oh, the Atmosphere thing was a lie. The artist who appeared the most in your playlist was actually AWOL1. How dope is that? That was the truth. Okay, share this to your stories. I don't want to do that. I'm sorry, you guys. I thought this was going to be more interesting. Okay, the Independent Artist Podcast. When it comes to podcast listening, you're actually a bit of a pro. Not true. You listen to 2,505 different artists, but things got pretty serious with one. Well, there you go. Aesop Rock.
I knew it.
You were in the top 0.1% of their listeners this year. My top artist was Aesop Rock. You found a lot of love this year. I hope this is at least somewhat interesting. Oh, shit.
Well, Molly and I sat down and watched ours to see who ours were. It
I
was
guess
almost like Christmas morning.
Yeah,
Molly
it's
woke
kind
up
of-
and she ran out of the room. She was like,
I know. I saw
guess
you
what
guys.
came out?
I saw you guys on the couch going through, and I'm like,
She
wow.
went to even see if Soul was awake yet.
Here's my top 5 artists. There's no surprise here. Aesop Rock, Prof. Greaves, POS, and Astronautilus. Unfortunately, several of those had some issues that I don't know enough about to speak on, so I don't care. I mean, I do care, but thanks for making this. That was it, huh? How do I find out the stuff about, like... So I've listened 109,091 minutes of music listening. My top genre is abstract hip-hop.
A lot of those are driving hours. I have
Craft
to say.
hip-hop. That's true.
I feel like that's how many hours we drove this year.
Oh,
or
look,
minutes.
I didn't even realize they had a whole summarizer that you didn't have to go through all that shit.
That's what I'm saying. You got to go to the fast forward.
Okay. Well, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's fun. Mm-hmm. There you go. I hate to support.
Mine was all bedroom pop. Was my top genre.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. I hope all of those artists that I listen to, I hope they realize, like, I don't just listen to them on Spotify. I mean, I spend money on merch and albums now. I mean, I'm way into it.
I'm sure they don't care. I mean,
probably
they care, but I don't think that they're sitting here going, man,
Yeah,
he
I
was only listening to me on Spotify.
Of course they're not. They don't even know who I am. But the reason I'm saying that is because I want people to get into that.
I think you should just donate to them on Spotify.
Or just donate to them. That's also cool.
Then
But
they get more of the money.
yeah, but the good thing about getting their merch and stuff is then I wear it on the street. You know, not just me, but everyone. People wear their stuff out, and then some other people see it. It's like a billboard, so they're bonus there. And then also you want them to listen to the music. Donations are cool to me, but I prefer people to own my artwork. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't have a place to donate, and yeah, that's a little bit different.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh no. I have a friend text group.
Uh-oh.
I know.
You better just put it on mute.
Once one person starts, it's going to go
turn the
off.
heater off.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, you guys, let's take a commercial break while we get settled in and we have Blockhead on. So right after these commercial break, let's hear a word from our sponsors. It's probably just the sponsorship about my artwork. That's okay. It separates us from this moment into the moment when we're having a chat with our guest, who today is Blockhead. So we'll see you in about however many seconds.
Are your walls blank and begging to be decorated? Or are you tired of having art that is basic?
Yes.
It has never been easier to purchase art that is just as unique as you. At artbytie.com, you can find art prints and original pieces of artwork done by master pen artist Ty Taiwali'i. But that's not all. You can also shop ready-to-hang limited edition art and a new children's book, as well as coffee table books. So don't spend another moment looking at walls that don't reflect who you are. Go to artbytie.com today.
Do it now. Hello. Hey, what's happening? Look at this guy.
His audio is still connecting.
Okay.
Oh,
Hey, how you doing? Sorry, I stepped away for a second.
It's okay. It's all right.
I did the same. I'm out of breath. I just ran back.
Yeah, you know what happens? What's been happening is like, you know, at a restaurant when you leave to go to the bathroom, the food shows up. Every time my wife, like the second they all of a sudden log in. It's like the trick. In fact, through all of the episodes we've done, we've only been stood up once.
Like completely stood up?
Yeah, no, not even I was messaging like, hey, everything okay?
Oh, wow.
But he ended up rescheduling, but it was still, it was like, I don't know.
He wasn't a musician.
He wasn't a musician. We'll say that. Yeah.
Well, I'm shocked because musicians are not very reliable, so I'm surprised.
Well, hey man, thanks for joining us on the show. It's really awesome to be able to have a minute to chat with you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
So hey, we were just talking about your dad, and I'm crunching some numbers here, but it says he was born in 1917, and you and I are pretty much the same age. So
he was 60 when I was born.
Holy shit!
And I'm the youngest. I have a 75-year-old brother, half brother.
Oh my God.
And I have a half niece, a step half niece who's older than me.
Whoa!
And I'm the youngest of 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good for him charging on still, man.
Yeah, sperm still worked. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
How was that? How was that? I mean,
it was.
You probably didn't know it any different, but how was that growing up with a dad so much older?
I mean, it was like having a grandfather in the house, kind of. And he like, you know, he was 60 and he passed away when I was 20. And he was, he's a World War II vet.
Yeah.
He was mostly deaf because he lost his hearing in the war. So it was like, it was very like he was an omnipresent figure, but he wasn't very involved in things.
Yeah. Was there like because aren't the other brothers? They're all half brothers, right?
Well, there's 5 from his first marriage, and my brother and I from my mom and my dad.
And how much older is your brother?
He's 2.5 years older than me.
Was there anyone like that played like that? Because obviously at that age, your dad wasn't like that dad. I don't want to say dad role, but was there somebody that was?
No, not really. My mom did the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
I think I know.
Well, yeah, that's wow. I saw that and I was like, this fucking. Sometimes like online links are wrong. Like it'll sometimes link like some artist to the wrong artist or something. And I was like, God, that's got to just be. That can't be the same, dude.
It is. Actually, the funny thing happened to me is at the first time ever in my life at a show, someone came up to me and was like, "Are you Sidney Simon's son?" And I was like, "What?" And it was a woman who was probably within 5 years of mine. She might be a little older than me, but I've never had someone connect those dots.
Is she a New Yorker?
No, this was in Asheville, North Carolina. Wow. It just was very I was like, how do you know my dad's work? Because he was a career artist, but he's not like a super famous artist. Like, he made a living, but he wasn't, it's like similar to me, kind of like I have my niche and like I have my fans, but I'm not like when it's all said and done, not a lot of people know who I was.
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying there, but I have pretty much the same career. I got a really strong, hardcore, base of collectors, but I'm comfortable with that. I don't need anything. I don't need anything more than that. I'm good with that. It's a good
kind of nice.
Yeah,
it's like you're kind of like under the radar, but you can afford to buy things. You know?
You know what else I find from it? It almost allows you to stay really authentic and true to your word.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you get too big, you might be trying to continue that recipe of like, well, what got me big? I better stay with that. So
I mean, I've seen it with other people. I've definitely seen it with other people. I mean, it's also like, I've never felt pressure to be like I know that there's a ceiling on what I do.
Sure.
Because it's if I want to keep doing what I do, that is, if I, I'm a sample based producer.
Right.
That limits things as far as like, I'm not going to have a big pop hit because my songs have samples in them.
Right.
Can you not have a pop hit without samples?
Well,
I could, but I'd have to clear everything, and we don't really do that unless we have to, and a lot of the stuff I sample would be really hard to track down, and it would be a whole to do to really get it even put. And also, like, my songs have like 15 samples in them, as opposed to like, a Jay-Z song will have just one sample, and then they clear that, and that's the song. But like, mine's like a collage of different stuff, so it would be very complicated and expensive.
But you're not sitting here saying that if Jay-Z contacted you and said, "Yo, I want," you're not saying.
Oh, I would absolutely work with those guys, but I'm saying, like, I'd be shocked if it like I'd send them the beat and then be like, cool, and then they make the song, and then they'd be like, all right, what are the samples? And I'd give them the list, and they'd be like, oh, you can't do this. Yeah, that's exactly what would happen if I ever made a beat for anyone famous.
What's the difference? In like indie, you don't have to. I guess that's what.
It's just kind of. I mean, like, you do get. I mean, you get caught here and there, and
it's like me drawing my drawing of Mickey. Well, the level that I'm at right now, I'm not getting hit up about that Mickey drawing that I did, but
you can be under the radar. It also, I mean, another major thing is that I don't I don't license my music for film and TV and stuff like that, or commercials. And that's like a lot of producers, like guys who are like on my level, they make the majority of the money licensing songs to commercials. Like a guy like RJ-D2 had a song in a car commercial. I think he must have cleared all the samples, or he must have replayed them or something. And he probably made a year's salary on that commercial, and like, that's how you do it,
I always wonder about that, because then once that goes to commercial, I can't listen to the song anymore. Just like the same with DJ Shadow's song that's on that commercial.
Oh, Run the Jewels song. Yeah, I mean, well, nothing's been licensed more than that song.
I know, and I fucking when that song first came out, I was sharing that with everyone. I was like, this thing is fucking awesome. And now when it comes on my playlist, I'm like, ugh.
I mean, it doesn't.
The one with the car?
Yeah, the car. Yeah, picture this. I'm a bag of dicks.
It's funny though, because like before that became like the darling of licensing, and then but before that it was that song "How You Like Me Now," which is a Ninja Tune song.
Yeah. How did you end up on Ninja Tune? I was going to avoid asking because I know people have asked you that, but I don't really know.
It was a case of like of a demo tape working. I was in talks with this label Mush to do an instrumental album. They were like, hey, if you ever want to do an instrumental album, and I didn't really know. I didn't listen to instrumental music. I still don't. So I was like, well, what is that? I'd heard DJ Shadow's album, but I wasn't like, I love DJ Shadow's hip hop production. I was a fan of his hip hop production, and I'd heard his album, but I never really paid much attention to it. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just make what I think an instrumental album should sound like. Cause like, based on what cause like I'd heard other instrumental songs, not Shadow stuff, but like other stuff that was like, just like a loop for 4 minutes with like some scratching on it. And I was like, well, that's boring. I don't want to do that. So I try to make songs that kind of evolve and change and stuff like that. So I made that, and then Mush Records like kind of went missing in action, and like they just didn't respond for months. So I was like, all right. So I got a manager, and he started passing it around to different labels, and he passed it to Warp Records. And they're like, we like it, but it's not really our speed. You should give this to Ninja Tune. And then, so I think they gave it to Ninja Tune, and Ninja Tune was sitting with it in their office for like months. And they're like, this is really good. Yeah. And then they signed me off that. And,
awesome.
And it just kind of worked out like that. Yeah. It was very fortunate. Yeah.
That's meanwhile, that the way that you had created, that was your first instrumental, and basically what you're saying, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I'd done Forrest Crunk. I made Forrest Crunk for Aesop, but that was like the first instrumental song I made.
Yeah.
But then this was like me being like, all right, I can do a whole album shit like that, I guess, you know?
Yeah, you weren't, but not listening to a whole lot of instrumentals. You weren't restricted to go like, oh, there's a certain formula to this. You were kind of
not at all.
Yeah,
it's kind of like how I never was a reader, but I wrote a lot.
Yeah.
Like I'm very much like let me just figure this out on my own kind of person, and
yeah.
like, you know, I don't learn well, you know.
Run the Jewels is on that label too.
On which label? No, they're on
Ninja Tune.
I don't think so, unless in Europe they are, but I don't think they are.
Well, she's just scrolling through. I think you're looking at through I mean, it's ninjatune.net.
Artists.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they got the rights in the UK or something. I don't know.
There's a term for that. How you discover you do stuff on your own, and it's called autodidactic. That's a word I use in my bio.
Is that your fun fact?
Yeah, because people are always like, "What the fuck is autodidactic?" And I'm like, "It's just a cool word."
it's just what the learning on your own.
The ability to discover how to do shit on your own, and that's the better way for you.
Yeah. It's a slower process, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but I don't know. It seemed to have more appreciation with whatever you come out with. You're like, yeah, I fucking figured this out, and it took me forever. So your dad's painting. Going back to your dad's painting, the painting of the Japanese warship thing. That thing's incredible. Yeah. So I wanted to let you know that I saw that painting and I'm amazed by it. I couldn't really find any other.
That painting is that, I mean, like he has a SydneySimon.com. He has a website where he did sculpture, he did paintings, he did like all mediums, which was really interesting because he constantly just changed throughout the course of his life. But that painting of Japanese surrendering to America is a crazy picture. Like it's crazy he was there.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that
he
painted them surrendering on a boat on a
that's awesome. Boat. It's a piece of history right there.
It was in the Smithsonian for a while. I don't think it's in some other museum right now in DC, but I don't know which one exactly.
Yeah, it's on the USS Missouri. Sorry, excuse me. Well, we'll get started on the drawing. I'll get the timer going and start drawing for you. But I did want to say congratulations on the Garbology album. It's fucking a fine piece of work.
I like your hoodie.
Yeah, you know what? I never.
Not the same one.
I never wear. You know, I say it. It's like wearing the concert T-shirt to the concert you're going to. Yeah. I never do that, but it's cold as balls in my studio right now, and this is just cold hanging. In here too. I'm seriously. I've listened to the album extensively. It's a really, really good album, and in the intro, I was telling my wife this. I listened to it on my run this morning. It really like built this whole picture for me. It's really well done. It's like seems very coherent, like a whole piece. I don't know if that's how you usually do an album, and I don't know. Granted, that could, that's what I was gonna say. That could be because of the distinctive style of Aesop Rock, but
it's also like how he, you know, like because when we made the album, it was just kind of like. We're just making songs, you know?
Right.
But I mean, the thing is like when I make albums, I do the same thing. I just make songs and then I step back and see what I have. And then kind of the overall theme comes together of like, especially how you order it and everything. But as far as like Aesop kind of sticks with some themes on this album. And it's interesting because like you make this album, we made this album like 7-8 months ago. And then I was sitting on The Secret for a long time, but I was listening to it. But I really appreciated it more after it came out for some reason, which is usually the other way around.
Right.
Where like I started listening to it more and I was like, and I really like latched on to parts in a different way than I did when we were making it, which is unusual for me because that doesn't usually work like that. That's awesome.
I tend to, when I'm listening to Aesop Rock, I mean, I tend to just get really involved in his lyrics and his writing. But I promised this morning, well, I listen when I'm having a guest on, I'll put all of their music that I can get my hands on in one playlist and just listen to it nonstop. Yeah. So I've been listening to everything that I could get my hands on of your music for the last 3 days. My run this morning, I totally tuned Aesop out and I was only listening to the production and it built a whole, while I was running, I was like I came up with this whole story, but it's awesome. It's a great album. I hope you're proud of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So one other thing I wanted to bring up before I start the timer. I recently saw your tweet about M. Night's movie Old.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I just fucking go off about that for just a second? I was so fucking pissed when it ended. Like, that was the shittiest piece of shit. And I woke my wife up. She was even asleep. And I was like, that fucking movie was the worst thing.
It's not as bad as The Happening. No,
God. You know what else? Did you see Airbender?
No, I didn't. I actually have only seen like 3 of his movies because I think he sucks. But that one I watched Old and I was like, man, this could have been a good idea. Yeah,
it was like, this is a cool idea. And he spent all this time on building up this idea and then just fucking shit it out.
Well, haven't all of his, I mean...
They're all kind of like that.
Yeah.
Did he make the movie Holes?
No. Well, which Holes?
Well, that was...
Because I was about to say, like, he should have, because that's, like, his plot lines are just so full of them. It's crazy. That movie, the way that people aged made no sense.
I know.
The fact, I mean, like, I know it's dumb to pick apart movies like this, but like the fact that dude swam underwater for 7 minutes and then like had the perfectly dry piece of paper, like everything, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I just can't get past stuff like that.
I can't either.
Yeah. And it was like the daughter turned into like a 18-year-old in 5 minutes and then stayed 18-year-olds for like 7 years.
Yeah, and I hate to shit on directors, especially because I have some movies out there, and there's a review on one of my movies out there on IMDb, and it is harsh. So I hate to shit on people, but yeah, I was so pissed about how bad it was, and it potentially could have been good, but like.
He's super lazy. He's super like he doesn't. It's like he writes and doesn't read back what he wrote and then doesn't connect. It's really crazy that he's allowed to do this shit.
I agree. He had 2 really good. I mean, I was a fan of Sixth Sense. I really enjoyed that movie.
Oh, he did that.
Yeah.
I saw Split. He did Split, right?
Yeah, and he did Glass.
Oh, Glass. Oh yeah, Unbreakable and Glass. I mean,
even Unbreakable, I was pissed. I know people love that, but at the end of it was boring as balls, and then when it could have got good was at the end, and all he did was just write out what happened. Like at the end of a movie where the interesting part, they write it out. I'm like, what the fuck? That's the part you should have made a movie about, you dummy. Anyway, well, thanks, because I saw it too, and I was like, oh God, yes. I'm glad that someone was able to fucking catch how shitty that movie was.
It was
really bad, man. That's one of the ones where you get angry where someone took up an hour and a half of your time.
I mean, it's kind of like I movies like that, I kind of like am glad I saw it just so I can shit on them later. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like when I saw, like I watched a little bit of In the Heights.
Oh, I don't know what it is.
Lin-Manuel, because I fucking
the
can't
new
stand.
Musical.
I hate musicals. Yeah. And I watched like 10 minutes of it. And I was like, oh, good. I'm glad that I was right about how bad this is. Yeah.
That's funny. My kids, I got a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old. They love Hamilton, and they love musicals. Yeah. Kids these days, maybe it's not kids these days. Maybe it's only our kids. I don't know. It seems like they love musicals. It's crazy.
They were homeschooled.
Yeah, our homeschooled kids love musicals.
Did you raise them on musicals?
No.
We raised them on hip hop mostly.
Our daughter used to watch Mamma Mia a lot when she was little and we were driving across the country. So I think it started there.
I've actually the majority of experience I've had with musicals has been around my nieces when they were teenagers, and like we'd be in car rides. They played like Rent, and I wanted to like jump out of the window, and yeah, like musicals are. I hate them so much.
What about Moulin Rouge? No,
if people start singing in the middle of something dramatic, I just want to turn it off. Like it just doesn't, I'm a person that's like very, like I like realism. Like I can't, like I don't play video games that are fantastical. Like I play sports games because I'm like, this is real. Or I don't like sci-fi. Like I don't like I like movies that are like based in reality and like, Yeah, it's just kind of how I am, I guess.
Well, that sucks for your taste right now because those movies have slipped into the darkness.
I just don't watch movies really much.
There you go. All right, well, I've set the timer 45 minutes. I'm going to draw you your sloth. We'll see how far I get, but either way, whatever piece I send you will be completely finished, heavily detailed, and it'll look nice. But I'll go as far as I can.
Oh, is that part of the deal? I get sent.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, the drawing is yours, and yeah, for sure. So that's why I definitely want to make sure, I know what what you like, what animals you like. So.
Oh yeah, well, sloth's my go-to. Although I've been inundated with sloth stuff for the last like 5 years because I've like I did my album Bubble Bath, the cover is a sloth.
Yeah.
But I've been liking sloth since I was like a child. Like I have a picture of a sloth in my apartment that I've had that I had in my like childhood bedroom, but now like I have like all these people have given me like stuffed sloths. I have like a whole like collection of like stuffed sloths that people have given me over the years.
That's awesome. They're like the most goddamn adorable thing in the world, man. They're incredible.
They're very chill. They got long claws though. It's like I've held one before, and they could fuck you up.
Yeah, I bet.
Was the fur really or hair really wiry, like actual wire? Because it looks like it.
No, it was just kind of like it was a little coarse. I don't know, like I held it. It was like holding on to like a stuffed animal, and I had to lift the stuffed animal because they're kind of like cumbersome because of these long, super long arms and claws, and like they're doofuses. They're kind of like doofuses.
They even have that kind of doofus look on them. Yeah. They're like, duh.
They're really cute, but yeah, it's the fur. Like I didn't really want to pet it too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a.
But they're cute. They have very cute faces.
Yeah, we had a dog that was like that.
A wire-haired dog.
I know. I felt bad.
The top of his head was really soft, but the rest of his body was really coarse.
I never wanted to pet him ever.
Like a little Brillo pet dog.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. All right. So you're Tony, right? Mm-hmm. Let's do a couple of Tony Sophie's choices here.
Okay.
So Tony Hawk or Tony Danza?
I guess I'm gonna go Tony Hawk. I'm not invested in either of those people. I was once eating at a restaurant and I heard someone talking across the restaurant and I was like, Tony Danza's here. And I turned around and it was Tony Danza.
He's got this very distinct voice. How was that a long time ago?
No, this is like in the last 4 years.
How'd he look? I haven't seen him in a while.
He looks fine. I was kind of like, I just heard it. I was like, that has to be Tony Danza.
But, I mean, I haven't even heard I haven't seen him on it, or I haven't seen anything.
He was in Don John.
Oh,
as the dad. That's the last thing I saw him.
Yeah,
but he's it's better than old.
There won't be much that isn't. Even my movie, I would be willing to put up against my last movie. How about Anthony Bourdain or Anthony Kiedis?
Oh, Bourdain by a million miles. I hate the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, okay.
I hate them. I think they suck. I think it's the most it really it fires me up how much I hate the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Also because I have friends whose taste I trust who love them. Oh. And I'm like, I'm sorry, are you like a surf pop punk rapper? Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like the antithesis of music that I'm into.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I did love their Blood. Was it that first
Blood, Sex, Sugar, Magic?
Yeah, was that the first one with the?
That was their first popular one.
The one.
Is that the one with Under the Bridge, or is that the what the that one, right?
I don't know.
Maybe it was just that sack of beans song. Sitting on a sack of beans.
Adrian, are you really going to sing that to him? He just told you how bad you fucking hated him.
The thing about Red Hot Chili Peppers,
that one album.
They're of an era, so I get it. But I'm not a fan of blind nostalgia, and I think that we need to accept that some things we loved when we were kids actually were not that good, and we were just kids with shitty taste.
Oh my God, that is great.
And I think Red Hot Chili Peppers fall squarely in that group. Limp Bizkit falls in that group. Like all that stuff. Like I mean, Limp Bizkit's later, obviously,
sure. but that's gonna have that. So people who are a little bit younger than us, that's what you're saying. Like Limp Bizkit's kind of on that same vein of like that was so huge for some of those people, and I bet now they're like, oh my God.
Well, the thing of when that Woodstock '99 documentary came out, like Twitter was flooded with all those people being like, yeah, but Limp Bizkit had some joints. I was like, they did not have joints. They had no joints.
I didn't like them. I'm with you there.
Like, what about the song with Premier and Method Man? I'm like, nope. Nope.
They're going to try to find any song to try to get you to say at least one song.
It was a boring ass beat with Method Man mailing it in and Fred Durst rapping on
it. Did you ever rap, or is it always just been production?
I rapped.
Are there tracks out there somewhere that we can hear of you spitting verses?
Nowhere you'd that you'd be able to find easily. Like maybe some might have snuck onto YouTube.
Picture a plummet from the summit. Former stars are forced to slum it, rummaging through their trash rhymes like they're homeless. Their spines are boneless, replaced with pipe cleaners, bending easy to my demeanor.
Somehow, because I was in a rap group called the Overground when from like 94 to 98, 99. And I kind of stopped when Aesop stuff started picking up because I'd met a real rapper, like a rapper who's actually talented. And I wasn't very good. Like, I was just like, I was fine. I didn't have a great voice. I didn't have a great flow.
Were you trying to base your style off of any other rapper, or were you?
No, I was like a punchline. I mean, at first I was like a lyrical miracle rapper, and then I kind of realized that wasn't my bag, but I was always, like I was listening to kind of weird left field stuff at the time, so I would try to be intricate with flows, but I just didn't have the capability of pulling that off really. But I was kind of at my core, I was like a punchline rapper. Like I was like a funny punchline rapper.
Right. But you wrote. But did you write? Were you a better writer of lyrics than you were of actually delivering them?
Yes, absolutely. Like I would have probably. Well, also something I learned really late in my rapping career is that you should write to a beat. Because I didn't realize. I would just write, and then I'd try to put it over a beat, and I was like, why doesn't this work? And I learned that. So late, right before I stopped rapping, I started writing the beats, and I got much better at rapping. Right. But it kind of
no love for it at all, huh? There's no way you'll find yourself rapping again
at 45.
You never know.
The world has enough fucking well, no, I don't think the world doesn't need more 45-year-old white rappers.
Are you sure?
all the good ones exist already. I think if you haven't made it by now, it's not.
It might be too late. That's right. That's true. Do something like Billie Eilish or something, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Just stick to producing.
Yeah, exactly. That's my whole thing. I'm just trying to.
So the amount of music that you've made for Aesop Rock, was there ever thought of like forming an officially named group like Malibu Can or with Tobacco?
No. It just kind of this album came about pretty organically over the pandemic, and it was kind of like the only discussion was like, is it just going to be Aesop Rock or is it going to be Aesop Rock and Blockhead? Yeah. For this, and he was like, we should have both of us on it. I was like, that works for me. But that, never a group really. Cause I've, until this album, I never produced an entire album for him.
That's what I mean. So, but you've produced so many songs
but I produced like half of it, it's like, stuff like that. So, never, I don't know. Never was really a thing that we thought about really, I think.
But you guys have collaborated so many times. So is it something that like, where you like, is it a send the music back and forth collaboration, or is it you make the beats, send it to him, and he's on?
Now it is. Now, I mean, for this, like, I basically had a ton of beats made already, because I was very prolific over the pandemic and before that, Yeah. So he was just like, yeah, send me some beats, and I sent him like a round of beats, and he picked out a couple of beats from that. And I sent him another round of beats. He picked out from that, and then he'd go back and kind of pick out the ones. And then he even asked me, "Is like, are there any that you think I would be good for me?"
Oh, cool.
And I don't know if there's maybe one or two on the album that were that. I'd like to say Flamingo Pink is one of those.
The rope goes over the wall, but the controller born to hold a stethoscope to a bull. Woolly Willy peel off in a barrel over the falls. And downriver by the time they radio for the dogs. I crossed heart, can't tell a bad day from a death wish.
Because I really like that beat, and I wanted him to rap over. Sounds like kind of like a Griselda beat to me. Yeah. And I was like, I'd like to hear Aesop on a Griselda beat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, other than that, it was just sending it back and forth, and like it's funny because he's so good at what he does that he sends me stuff. He's like, "How's this verse?" I'm like, "It's great, man. They're all great." Like you've never sent me a half-ass verse in our entire lifetime knowing each other.
Have you ever had to be like, and even if you did, what would you say?
No. No. That's like, yeah. I mean, like, if there's one thing I trust, it's his own quality. He's so hard on himself about stuff that his quality control's off the charts, and like he doesn't half-ass things. He really, I mean, like you can't really half-ass how he writes,
Absolutely.
It's so intricate, and he's just impressive,
Well, here's a non sequitur. I've been trying to throw that word into a conversation because I just said that I haven't used it before. There's a Sophie's Choice one. Bill Burr or Bill Hicks?
Bill Burr.
Sweet, yeah. Bill Murray or Bill Maher?
Bill Murray.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I asked you that because you're a fucking funny dude online, dude. So I'm wondering, like, did you ever like do any stand up or want to be a stand up comedian?
No,
or anything?
I've always loved stand up comedy. I don't think I hate myself enough to be an actual stand up comedian. But I did like for a while I had a public access show in New York that was like me and friends doing little skits and stuff. And I thought about being an actor for a little bit, but then I took an acting class, and like 3 classes in, I was like, oh, fuck this. And I like the teacher yelled at me for not preparing some improv, like a thing where I'm like pretending to make toast or something like that, like where I'm miming toast. He's like, you didn't practice this. I was like, of course I didn't practice.
Practice making toast.
Like, I'm like, hey, let's we walk over. It was just I just and like I'm kind of glad I didn't do that just because I know a fair amount of I've met actors and actresses, and I'm like, that's nice.
But hypothetically, had you followed that, do you think you would have ended up being more into the comedy world movies?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. Like that's the thing is I don't think I'm particularly I don't know. Like I think I'm a better funny writer than I am funny actor. If that makes sense.
Well, and that's what you. I was just gonna say that's what you just said with when you were rapping. It was all like punchline. I don't know if it was joke punchline, but I'm guessing.
No, but exactly. That's kind of exactly the thing. It's like I'm better at like short thought. Like Twitter was like made for my brain.
Yeah, because your Twitter account's fucking funny.
Like it was perfect. But I used to like I had a blog for like 10 years where I'd write like, rants like 500-word rants about whatever I felt, anything really.
Yeah.
And that was fun. But Twitter's like that condensed into, 280 characters or whatever it is now.
Well, you even curate funny shit on your Instagram. I know it's mostly, it's other people.
Oh yeah. It's all other people's stuff.
Yeah. But you I don't know, pick out funny shit. You got a good sense of humor.
I definitely think, that's more in line with my personality than my music is really. So it's like the balance of these two things.
Yeah, because your music's moody and sometimes kind of dark.
Yeah, and I'm not a moody or dark person at all. So it's kind of it's a funny dichotomy between the two things.
Wow, I enjoy hearing you say that because I think I wasn't even thinking about, but there's quite a similarity between you and I. My drawings tend to be really dark and people think that I'm fucking crazy or something, but I am so not dark. I like to laugh. I love busting balls. Like that's way more my speed. So yeah.
Well, it's funny because like when I first, when I was on Ninja Tune for the first album, for Music by Cave Light, like the vibe of that album was very specific and very like gloomy and kind of like, melancholy. So they kind of marketed me as a gloomy, melancholy guy. Like all the press photos were like me in a suit and like in shadow. Like I'm a guy that like only wears suits. Like I wear suits to like funerals and weddings and that's it. Like I don't ever dress up. Like I started wearing buttons like 3 years ago. Like it's like I don't, like I'm a t-shirt jeans guy. And it was funny because like then, so like I think people assumed that was my character. It was like this like dark, brooding guy, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. Like I like it. So I almost feel like when I meet fans sometimes, not so much anymore because social media is around and people kind of get a better idea. But like back then, they would be disappointed that I'd be like jovial.
Yeah. I saw like maybe on an interview or something that you did. And I don't know if it's the case anymore, but you were saying how disappointed people are that you don't smoke weed.
Oh yeah. That's a big thing. Yeah. I had a friend yesterday. I played basketball like a couple times a week, and a friend of mine's coming. He's like, hey, can you bring me a joint and I'll bring you some like this like of this like CBD like kind of like icy hot. I was like, well, I don't smoke weed. He's like, what? He's like, have you heard your music? I was like,
Man, the similarities are fucking crazy because most people just assume they'll come and see my, like if they're at a show, they'll come see my work and they'll go like, man, what do you smoke? And give me some of that. I'm like, I don't smoke, man. My head's not built for it.
Artists, man. People just assume all artists smoke weed.
Yeah. A lot of them do.
No, I will say like I'm definitely in the minority of artists.
Do you ever sometimes feel like you kind of just go along with it, but you feel like, oh, fuck, I don't want to disappoint them?
No, I've gotten used to disappointing fans on that level, so I'm just not, I mean, just be honest,
Yeah, absolutely.
Your last album didn't seem dark at all. It seemed really light and.
Well, the Space Werewolves one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, it was almost, that was initially going to be like Uncle Tony's Calling Book Part 2, which was like my upbeat album. And then as I was making it, I was like, I don't really want to make a totally happy album. So let me circle back and kind of split this into two different moods. But I think that there's like a lightness to it in certain parts. And also like, with the vocal samples I use, kind of can add some levity to things. And, it definitely, it's more playful, like the whole, and the idea, this calling an album what I did is pretty silly in itself. So I went full silly on that.
No, I liked it.
Thank you.
Sticking with the comics, how about Joe Rogan or Joan Rivers?
Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
Fucking Joe Rogan pisses me off. Like it's not, it's like, I think what he does is irresponsible sometimes, but much like people like, I think I tweeted something about this yesterday about like the only thing worse than influences are the people that are influenced by them.
Yeah.
And I think Joe Rogan's a case of that. Like it's him, but it's really his fans. It's like, cause he doesn't have to, this platform wasn't, he's created this platform for himself, but like, it's cause there's a bunch of like angry white dudes in the world that are just like looking for excuses for things.
You know what I again hate shitting too much on people, but what drives me nuts about it is he'll do the cop out thing where he's like, I always say I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? But that's like a cop out because you don't know what you're talking about yet. I don't know how
it's tough because like I can't knock him for he's built up his fan base and like it's like, dude, that's amazing. Like he, and I don't think he's a bad comedian. I think he's okay. Like he's I think that he does what a lot of like kind of comedians do these days who are like kind of like fighting against woke culture is that they don't have a balance in their thing but they do it under the guise of a balance where they're like they won't criticize, like they'll shit on Biden, but they would have been like, yeah, but Trump was bad, but he's funny. It's like, yeah, I agree with you, but like it's not fair to really, it's you can't compare those two things.
Yeah. Well, it's like that move that the news stations do where they'll shit on the media. Like in their report, they're like the media covering, like they're shitting all over the media as their fucking media.
I was hearing that the other day and I was like, aren't you the media?
Oh yeah, it's such a move. It's such a shitty, stupid move.
We're in a really, really bad place on a societal level, and I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon.
I don't either, unfortunately. I used to be an optimist, but man, it's been a little tough recently.
Yeah.
I'm glad you picked Joan Rivers because I'm a huge Joan Rivers fan. Like I didn't get some of the other stuff, but like her stand-up comedy, like that, she was balls out, man. She would lay into it.
I'm most familiar with her as a guest on talk shows.
Yeah. And
she was awesome on those. She's just like a funny lady. Also, her like when she was on E with her daughter.
Yeah, they were harsh, man.
I haven't seen a lot of her stand up, but against Joe Rogan, it wasn't a hard choice.
Yeah.
You could say Joe Camel, I'd be like Joe Camel.
Were you a smoker ever?
No, never.
Oh, okay. I had a friend who was a smoker, and he smoked Camels, and he fucking saved up those Camel bucks, and he had he had the light, he had the pool table. Like,
awesome. That's kind of I gotta respect that.
I don't know if it was worth his lungs. Well, he doesn't smoke anymore, but hey, what about Jim Gaffigan or Jim Belushi?
Jim Belushi. No, I know who he is, but I'm saying that's I guess Jim Gaffigan. Like Jim Gaffigan, he's all right. Like
There was no other Jim I could line up with.
Jim Carrey?
Oh yeah, shit. I totally dropped the ball.
Or Jim Brewer?
Oh yeah, he's kind of shit the bed recently.
Oh, he really shit the bed.
Yeah.
He's gone full like anti-vax.
God,
like,
I know everyone's showing their true colors though. It's kind of been that's been kind of the nice thing about it is I've learned some shit about people that I thought I knew about, and I'm like, whoa.
Oh yeah. Oh, me too. Like I found out a friend of mine yesterday is like super anti-vax, and I was like, wow, what?
Yeah, it's kind of depressing.
Shocked. Yeah, it is. It's it's disappointing.
Yeah, that's what it is. The perfect word. Disappointing. Yeah. What about Sarah Silverman or Bo Burnham?
I like them both. I guess Sarah Silverman, but Bo Burnham is really talented.
Did you watch his movie Inside on Netflix? Yeah. Dude, that was fucking like really beautiful.
He's really talented. Like he directed that movie 8th Grade too, which was good.
I haven't seen that.
I watched that. It was good.
It's good, right? Yeah, like he's fucking young.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing how young he. When I watched that Inside, my kids loved it, so they had me watch it. But I was watching it, going
musical.
Like, yeah, it's kind of like a musical. But
see, I can get into that kind of musical.
Yeah, because it's really dark. He seems very. He's got dark. Some dark. Yeah.
I mean, especially when he's alone during the pandemic, apparently.
yeah, no kidding. What I love about it is inspiring how like he really fucking took a great took something shitty and made something fantastic out of that time. Absolutely. My like you said, you were prolific during the pandemic. I was not. I was shit. I could not. I had no inspiration to do anything. So I'm always happy to hear that people were.
I'm inspired by boredom. So I'm least active when I'm busy, if I'm I really only work when there's nothing else to do.
Right. Yeah, I guess I do that. I guess I work because I don't do well when I just got to sit there. Unless there's a jazz game on, then I'm fucking. I'll sit and watch that.
Are you in Utah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've been I haven't missed a jazz game in 30 plus years.
Yeah, a good team.
Yeah, but they'll fucking die on me when it matters.
I mean, they're not going to win anything, but they're always
really good. They just fucking shit the bed right before it gets there every time. Well, since I know of you through hip hop and let me hit you with some hip hop Sophie's choices. Big L or Big Pun?
Big L.
So yeah,
like them both, but Big L was definitely a guy that they kind of rap alike too, to be honest. They both were like kind of early on they were both influenced by Percy P and Pharoah Monch as far as like doing these kind of flows, those little runs and stuff. But they're both great. They're both great. But Big L, oh my God.
What about I'm sure I know the answer to this, but I'm gonna try it. Pusha T or Ice-T?
Pusha T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny that you said that because I just put Instagram back on my phone this morning and I was like, I'm going to post a story of this place I ran to. And then what popped up was today was a good day. And I was like, hey.
That's cool. Wait, you're thinking of a different Ice
Cube. That's Ice
Cube. Oh. Wait, is it Ice Cube that's been anti-vax?
He's been, yeah.
So yeah, my kids were like, what is this? I'm like, oh crap, did he too?
Yeah, I know. It's hard to keep track of all these guys, right?
I'm like, damn,
old rappers have trouble with shit.
I'm like, I shouldn't have put Instagram back on my phone. Now I gotta go delete my story.
Oh, you didn't tell me you put Instagram back on your phone?
I just did it this morning.
Yeah, shit.
I like Ice, but to be clear, like Ice-T was a dude I listened to a lot when I was younger. Like I had a poster of his Power cover on my wall. And if you remember the cover for that, you know why a teenager would have that on his wall.
Right.
What was it? Remind me.
It's him with his beautiful girlfriend in like a small bikini.
A very small bikini.
like, and it shows the front and the back.
Yeah.
And she was, at that point I'd never seen anyone hotter in my life. So I was like, 12 years old.
It's because it's the music, Mom. I like the music.
Yeah. My mom wasn't a big fan of the poster either.
That's what you're saying. Like I only hanging it up because it's.
But your dad saw it for the art that it was.
My dad was an artist, so he gave me a subscription to Playboy when I was 13. He's like, as long as I get to see him first. I was like, all right. And he tried to like sell me on like the artistic value of Playboy. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah.
What he was really trying to do was sell your mom, probably.
Yeah. Right. I think at that point my mom had just been like, ugh. like he was so old that it didn't matter, you know?
Yeah.
What about Blackalicious or Black Star?
Blackalicious.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Quali guy.
Okay. I've been hearing that a lot recently.
I've never been a big Quali guy. He has a couple songs I liked early on, but I just don't know. And I think Mos Def is an incredibly talented, great rapper, but I've also really, there's like a handful of songs of his I really like, and maybe it's like a beat selection thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whereas Blackalicious, like their first EP was like incredibly formative EP for me. That EP alone carries them over Black Star to me, but that's, you know, personally.
Yeah. I don't ever really give out my choices, but on those, I take they're the center for me because they were both pretty influential in the music I liked. What about this one? And I think this person a lot of people don't know of, but Mike Ladd or Mike D?
I mean, I did a remix for Mike Ladd once with LP and Vast on it. I honestly haven't heard a lot of Mike Ladd's music, to be honest with you.
I haven't either, but yeah, I mean,
but so I guess Mike D. But I used to play basketball with the Beastie Boys.
You still
not Mike D. Mike D's the only one that didn't play with us. But
how did that come about?
It's just a small world, and like I kind of got bought into this game, and it was a game they had running since like '96, and it was all like kind of like, you know, just New York dudes and graffiti writers and art and musicians, and they didn't even know, like, and I played there, like, you know, like Ad Rock played there for a while, and Yauk played until he passed away. Like it was like like right up till then, but they didn't know who I was or that I made music. I was just a guy that played basketball with them. I'm pretty sure they even knew my name, but I played with them for like years. Yeah.
Was it like at a rec center or something? Or
was it this PS41? It's a public school like right near my house.
It's outdoor court?
Indoor. So it's a year round, like indoor run.
Oh, awesome. I'm glad that you're still playing. I played used to play 3 times a week, but I haven't played for about 2 years.
That's where I'm at, right? I'm doing 3 times a week right now.
Oh man, that's good, man. In your mid 40s. Awesome.
Yeah, we'll see. It's just starting, so we'll see. I played yesterday, and I'm just like,
is it seasonal?
No, no, because of COVID, it was knocked out.
Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah.
So the gyms finally reopened, and like they reopened in, I guess, late October. And I was traveling a lot, so now I'm finally getting back, and I'm home for a while, so I'm getting back in the swing.
Is it weird, like breathing all up in each other's face, playing ball against each other, or
everyone? You have to be vaccinated to play, and it's a bunch of dudes I know fairly well, and a couple who I like played with over the summers outdoors and stuff. Like I mean, it's everything's a risk.
Sure,
but,
sure.
Like no one's gotten COVID yet, so.
Knock on wood. Well, yeah, and if you're vaccinated, then you're probably a little bit safer.
I'm boosted even, you know?
Yeah, us too. We got ours early because we have a place in Hannibal, Missouri. So in Missouri, we got way early. Like no one was, like the vaccinations were available and people were like, fucking, I ain't taking that shit. So they were like, we have a bunch of vaccinations. Anyone want them? Come down. So we got early J&J, but we got our boost early because of that. But anyway, what was your, what about Rick Ross or Rick Rubin?
It's sacrilegious, but I'm gonna say Rick Ross.
Yeah. Well, how come it's sacrilegious?
Because Rick Rubin's like a legend, but do
you have to be a Rick Rubin fan?
I mean, I don't know. Like, there's no denying what he's done.
Yeah,
he's done some very important stuff. I can't really zero in on anything Rick Rubin's done that's like my favorite shit ever. Like, you know, it's like I mean, he did more for the culture.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because I mean, like he's a much more important musical figure than Rick Ross, obviously.
I see.
But would I rather listen to a Rick Ross song than something Rick Rubin produced? Probably.
Did you like that? Did you happen to hear the Rick Rubin Eminem joint?
No, but I bet it sucks.
It came off really bad, man.
Rick Rubin produced the whole thing?
Yeah. It's like Eminem was like.
Was it all stabs?
It was very, you know what? It was weird. It was like trying to lay Eminem on like old Beastie Boys beats.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And it was like made zero. And you could feel that's kind of what they were trying to do. I don't know. That's just, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't checked for an Eminem album.
I mean, this is old though. That was like, I think that one's like 7 or 8 years. Maybe
really?
10. It's pretty old. Yeah. And
I checked out with Eminem around, man, when he started rapping like Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, I was like, nah.
But are you a Triumph fan? Because that dude's funny.
Yes, I am.
Me too.
I wish he rapped instead of Eminem on those songs.
Yeah, a guy that does the voice for him. I think he's a writer on SNL.
Robert Smigel.
Robert Smigel. Yeah.
He's an SNL writer. He wrote for Conan. He's like a really like a prolific.
Yeah, he's funny, man.
Is it bad of me to question Rick Rubin because he dresses like the guy who kidnapped Elizabeth Smart? Like, I question his sensibility, like his. I know people that worked with him and they loved him, but I've also like heard story it's a mixed bag of stuff because I think he's like the dude obviously is tapped into something, and like apparently his studio is incredible, and he's created this whole environment there. I'm not a spiritual person at all, so I can't that side of it. I don't relate to. Is that what's going on?
Yeah,
there?
he's very like I saw someone was recording in his studio, and it was very hippie. Like
he doesn't wear shoes ever.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's and I don't know him personally, and yes, you're right about his like what he's done and stuff is all amazing. But he talks and has the same mannerisms as my old drummer from years ago, who I beat up, who I fucking can't stand. It's the same. So every time I see him, I'm like, cool, I want to just choke him. Maybe I shouldn't have said that because I know some of my friends listen to the album. Well, everyone, yeah. Everyone knows that I jacked his shit because he was an asshole. Is there anything that keeps you up at night?
It makes me nothing makes me sleep worse than knowing I have to get up in the morning than an alarm, because I'm so not used to alarms. And like, so I get that honestly, I know you're asking for like a deeper thing, but like the reality is like because of my lifestyle, like, and I don't have to get up. And I'm not a late sleeper at all. Yeah. But like if I have a flight at like 10 in the morning and I know I got to get up at like 7 to get there, I will sleep like shit the night before because I'm just worried about missing my flight and stuff like that. So that's for me, that's like the main thing. But also like I don't like lose sleep over just general dark thoughts. It's more just like my mind races and I can't slow it down. Even it could be like what I'm going to eat tomorrow. Like it could be really dumb shit like that. So it's
I have the same thing. Yeah, before we're going to record an episode, I'd fucking run over the conversation 400 times and I'll never fall asleep. It sucks.
Yeah.
I guess, we've avoided the deeper thought of that because then I would ask you, like, what gets you up in the morning aside from your alarm clock? But
coffee.
Having to pee.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, shit, that sucks, too.
That's literally what gets me up in the morning.
Me too. It's impossible to fall back asleep after that. Have you ever witnessed anything in person that could be deemed a miracle?
Nah.
Okay.
I don't think so. Nothing comes to mind. I would think if I had, it would be on the tip of my tongue. But
if there was something that would go like that, yeah.
Have you, Ty?
I have. I told the one when the car almost hit me and your 2 children, and you were watching us. That's a story I've told on the episode. I just missed this. That was definitely a miracle, but I'm not one to focus on miracles. But sometimes things happen that are like, holy shit, how did that fucking happen? So you might.
I'm sure I've seen stuff like that on a much like micro level, like little things. Where I'm like, holy shit, what was that?
Yeah.
What did I just witness? Like just kind of fortuitous things happening in front of me, but.
Not quite the miracle level.
No, nothing where I was ever like that changed my life view or anything like that. Definitely nothing like that.
Well, here's something you may need to settle for people. Is it chicken wings or buffalo wings?
It's buffalo wings, right?
I had heard New Yorkers fucking refuse to call it buffalo wings.
I didn't know we had a stance on that.
That's what I saw. I saw some.
It's arbitrary.
Right.
Because chicken wings denotes a different flavor than buffalo wings.
Yeah.
And so if you get chicken wings, I guess if you go, I guess if we're talking New York shit, if you go to like a Chinese restaurant and get chicken wings, you're getting fried chicken wings. You're not getting buffalo wings, where buffalo wings are specifically Tabasco sauce.
I wonder if I had that backwards and it wouldn't be chicken wings or hot wings.
Hot wings and buffalo wings are the same thing, I think.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Maybe I.
We don't call them hot wings out here.
No, that's straight buffalo wings.
Maybe it has to do with Buffalo, New York.
Yeah, well, that's the buffalo, the sauce. Like, yeah,
is that? Oh, okay.
It's the sauce, but it originated in Buffalo, I believe.
It doesn't taste like water buffalo.
No, it doesn't. But when I played up in Buffalo, I'm like, take me to your best wing place. And they do, and it's like, these taste like everywhere else.
They just taste like wings. I know.
Well, yeah,
they're delicious, but you know.
But what can you really do that's different? I mean, the sauce maybe. But...
I mean, ask Wingstop. Rick Ross could probably tell you what he can do. He's got like 40 flavors. You know, it's just like It always bugs me out that when I'm getting wings and someone gets something that isn't buffalo, they're like, oh, let me get the honey mustard. I'm like, ugh. You want 10 of those?
Do you guys have what's the big one that's in the Midwest with the yellow?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh yeah, do you ever go to those joints?
It probably exists somewhere in Midtown. It's not it's not exactly like in places where like.
I think it's the Applebee's of buffalo wings though.
Yeah,
because that's what I imagine. Yeah, you're Manhattan proper, right? Like you live.
Yeah. I'm
so
born
you got
and raised.
fucking food options that's like.
Oh yeah, I don't have to leave my block if I don't have to. You know, like if I could literally like not cross a street and eat at like 7 different places.
Yeah. Is there anything that you'd like to bring back from the past?
In general?
Yeah.
A lot of things. But I'm trying to think. That's such an open question. I don't know. I'd like to bring back a time where not everyone had a voice.
Yeah.
I like obviously freedom of speech is something, but like things were a lot better when not everyone felt the world was their soapbox, and myself included. Like I don't need to have a voice, you know. Like I'm just saying, like it's as good as it is bad, because you know, everyone should have a voice, but at the same time, like a lot of people have dangerous voices.
Yeah, I know. I get exactly what you mean. We're both big Howard Stern fans, and he's been going off for a while about like it was better when only I had the voice to share the shit. But it meant, you know, he's joking a little bit, but it is true. Like it was like there's some people that are better to be out there saying some shit, and some people.
I don't know though. I will say that the young people right now, the teenagers who are standing up for the environment and stuff. They're the ones, this is like every time they're like, the youth is going to save us. But now they actually maybe can.
Yeah.
Because they can organize and like, you know.
But what they're having to save us from is all of us old people fucking thinking we have shit to say.
Yeah, a lot of people got to die before they can save us. Yeah. But I will say, if I can touch on that point, is that like there's in everything like that, there's good and bad. And like, and so like anything I'd want from it, like I miss a certain level of privacy, but also like without, and that's because of the internet, obviously, but like without the internet, I don't have a career. So it's, you know, the balance.
It's catch-22. I guess that's what you use that term for.
Exactly.
Well, okay, since you're ahead, Blockhead, let's do a few Sophie's Choice with that. Portishead or Radiohead? Portishead. Yeah, that one's pretty easy. But I'm a big Radiohead fan, though. But
I never got into Radiohead. I've never been like a rock guy, so I don't really. I have nothing against Radiohead. I just never really.
Was it always like a hip hop or a jazz?
Hip hop, like old soul music. Like I mean, I grew up on '80s music and stuff like that. But my parents listened to jazz and like opera and stuff like that. But
Mozart.
I'm sorry.
Mozart?
I was.
Mozart?
No. It was kind of around your dad's time. I'm just kidding.
My dad had like Duke Ellington playing and shit like that. But my mom was 20 years younger than my dad, so she was playing like she played like some jazz, but she also played like Laurie Anderson, stuff like that, like kind of weird avant-garde stuff. But that didn't really sink in like the 80s music did, because my brother was like a fanatical 80s like top 40 guy.
Oh.
But hip hop was the first genre that I was like, oh, this is what I like. And then I was like 10 years old, 11 years old when
But you guys didn't click with Duke Ellington, huh?
No, I did. Like my dad, there's one song that my dad used to play that I to this day love. It's called the Malatabo Spank. And
I don't know it.
It's a weird. He had a cassette of it, and I just used to run that one back. I eventually sampled it on something.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's something that you would have sampled. But,
yeah. He's jazz. He was a jazz guy.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, really, you'd have to be born in 1917 to really
I was thinking it was one of those country guys.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, Duke Ellington was an old
thinking
jazz
Dukes
guy.
of Hazards.
but my dad was like, you know, my dad like he lived on St. Mark's Place in the 60s. which is a major area, and he lived right above a jazz club, and he saw Mingus play there and stuff. Like he went to
awesome.
like my dad was like a cool artist guy in the 60s.
Yeah.
You know, he'd like march for civil rights. So my dad was like a cool guy.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, exactly. He was a cool guy. He was just 70 years older than you when you were younger, so you couldn't recognize that.
Exactly.
Yeah, nowadays we realize how cool it is to be. Yeah.
Or you also hear stories about, like shit that happened back then. You're like, ooh.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like ooh, that was a different era. That was like the
a lot of that.
A lot of things that wouldn't fly now.
What about Buckethead or Motorhead? Well, you're not a
neither. Motorhead just because they're, I don't know, the cooler insignia. I don't know.
Buckethead does like that really rad jam on a Qbert album that I love.
Hey, you didn't do that Aesop Rock song. He did a song with Nike a long time ago.
Long song, that whole long thing.
Yeah, that
he did that. Yeah, he did a whole thing for like a running program.
We used to that used to be on my playlist. I can't get it anywhere, but it used to be on my running playlist.
Oh, like all day something. It was like
all day.
All day, yeah.
But that guitar riff on there, I couldn't.
There was some kind of guitar riff. She doesn't like that sound. Really,
it reminded me of kind of like what you're saying, like that '80s kind of rock,
like hair metal, like like finger tapping kind of shit.
Yeah, because you won't know. Because there's not very many heads to say. Because the only other one I have is Talking Heads or Oysterhead, but you probably don't even know
Talking Head.
Oh yeah, do you know Oysterhead?
I've heard of them. I don't.
Yeah.
That's a group, right?
Yeah, it's Les Claypool, Trey Anastasio from Fish, and Stuart Copeland from the Police is the drummer. It's really far out there kind of rock. It's Les Claypool.
I like the Talking Heads, so I would probably vote for them,
What about Latyrix or Rick's Cabaret?
Rick's Cabaret.
Yeah, the strip joint in New York.
I'm gonna go Latyrix. What's the connection of those two?
None, other than it's Rick's and Latyrix. I was trying to.
I'm gonna go. Latyrix was a very, very big album for me. That first album was like super, super important to me, to my growth as a fan and artist. I think
a lot of people don't have any idea anything about it. That's why I want to bring it up, because people should definitely investigate. Are you into the strip club scene though at all? Is that your scene?
Not really. It's like watching cooking shows. Like when I'm hungry, like what am I gonna do? Eat the TV? Like what? This is stupid. It doesn't I get nothing out of like having a girl like rub her ass on me and leaving. I'm just like, all right, stupid.
You're right.
Yeah, it doesn't.
What about a farmer's market? Is farmer's market your scene?
Is it my scene?
Yeah. Some people are fucking way into that's like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna hang out
I'm at every farmer's market. I've got no problem with farmers markets. They're fine. I don't go to them often.
Well, that's it. So I mean, like people get up first thing early 6 a.m. to go hit up their farmers market, and I guess that's
I don't cook much, so there's not much use for a farmers market. But like when I've been in like other places where there's less happening and like fresher, like like some place like I don't know, like I used to go to Cape Cod every summer with my parents, and there'd be a farmer's market there, and it'd be there'd be like fresh mozzarella and like stuff like that, and so I could some baked goods.
Yeah.
So you understand the value of it, but it's not.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Well, when you live in Manhattan and you can have every food you want at your fingertips.
It's farmer's market. It's a supermarket outdoors.
That's right. I just noticed I did have another Latyrix one. It was Latyrix or Netflix.
Ooh, I mean, I guess I'm still gonna go with Latyrix. I do like Netflix, but it's, when I'm on my deathbed, Latyrix will have had more effect on my life.
What was the last thing that you watched on Netflix?
I watched that Kevin Hart show.
Oh, you posted something about that.
Drama,
I loved it.
And it was fun. It's it's nothing too deep. It's a drama.
Yeah.
Oh, the dad one?
No, not that one.
The one about it's called True Story.
Oh wait, is that the one where he has the daughter?
No, it's a whole like he's a famous he's basically Kevin Hart.
Oh yeah.
And then something really bad happens and he has to, and all these things start falling apart, and Wesley Snipes plays his brother.
Wesley's making the comeback recently.
Yeah. Wesley Snipes Wesley Snipes doing his thing. Fine. I was wondering where he went for all these years.
Yeah, he was hiding in the shack. What was that movie we just watched where he was in the shack? Wesley was like the guy's dad. Oh, it was like a movie. Oh, that was RZA's movie. Fuck. It was
the one he just came out with.
What,
yeah, it takes place in New Orleans. No, it was a
bad.
real serious one.
RZA
Yeah,
director?
it's pretty good. Yeah. It was his. I think it was his first movie.
Not Iron Man.
No, 'cause he made that kung fu movie a long time ago.
Yeah, Iron Fist. No,
Yeah,
Cutthroat City. The movie's called Cutthroat City.
Oh,
it takes place in New Orleans. It's pretty good. It's
okay.
It's I mean, if you're a RZA fan, it's worth checking out. Anyway, you posted a meme about with Kevin Hart, and I'm the way I saw it is I'm not a big Kevin Hart comedian fan. Like, he drives me nuts. Yeah. But that movie where he's with his daughter, like, I fucking was crying when I was watching that movie.
Well, it was based on the TV show that I was watching, but it was the Drake meme where he's like nah and then yes, and the nah was like Kevin Hart's comedy, and then Kevin Hart dramatic roles was the yes.
Yeah.
Not that he's a perfectly fine actor. Like, he did a good job in this show playing himself pretty much. But it was more just like I just don't. Like Kevin Hart, like, I don't think he's a terrible comedian. I just don't know why he's the most popular comedian in the world.
he drives me nuts. Like, he has the same vibe to me as Martin Lawrence, and everyone was huge into Martin Lawrence.
Oh, you didn't like Martin's? You didn't like that one special of his? He had the one special that was my shit.
All I can hear is Martin.
Martin is like a physical comedian to me, and was very like he I loved Martin back then. I haven't seen his stuff. I mean, like, that stuff again as an adult, or not as an adult, but as a 15 years later or whatever. But I did like Martin's, and I thought the show Martin was funny in its silliness. Like, it was better than, like, I don't know. There's other shows that were around that time that were just not quite didn't have the same thing.
Well, it may have been Bad Boys that ruined him for me. I don't know. Yeah. Look at you, man. You're pulling out, like, I've given out way more of my opinion than I have on any of the episodes.
Probably because I'm being very free with mine. It's kind of lighting a fire in you.
That's what's happening. I know I hate to do it because, then I get this rant. I don't like fucking having conversations with people I don't know who are going to attack me for some shit that I said. It still gets to me.
I'm used to it. I'm used to it just from existing on, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
I curate mine, so no, I don't ever, because I don't really ever say anything out in public. Mine's all with my friends. But are you more driven by the process or the result?
The result, because I don't. Yeah, I'm like, you mentioned something earlier about like being inspired to work over the pandemic, and I said that it was out of boredom, but often if I'm given an assignment, like if someone's like, hey, will you do a remix for me? I will do it the next day. And it's because I want to get it. I want to finish it. and that doesn't mean that I half-ass the process, but my process is pretty locked in at this point. I've been doing this for 25 years or so. So it's like I know what I'm doing as far as like how I'm approaching everything. So the process is like automatic, but the result is something I can sit back and like what I said about how I've been listening to Aesop album differently now. It's out. Like, it's nice to be able to sit back and it works both ways though. Like, I've listened to like older albums of mine where I'm like, oh, I would have done something different there if I did that now. Like, I wouldn't have, that was a little too cluttered or whatever. Like, I would have done something different. So, it works both ways, but
that's an interesting perspective. Yeah. Cause I tend to hear a lot of people, mostly the MCs, they'll say they like the process of it, but I like the way you laid out why you like the result, why it's more focused on the result. That makes
as a rapper,
sense.
It might be different.
Yeah.
Because the process is more to the process, I think, to write than at least, I don't know. I mean, like, it's not I don't know. It's less, it can be different. Writing can be different than producing, and it's.
So you're probably not a procrastinator.
No, I'm not. I want to, my whole goal in everything in life is to get it done so I can chill. Like, I get shit done and then I can relax. I don't like having things over my head. I don't like owing people things. I don't like I don't even like using credit cards because I don't like owing credit card company money. Like I'd rather just get shit done and get it out there.
Do you keep a big list of a to-do list?
No, I just do it as it comes because I don't really have a big thing. It's rare that I have like pressure to do something under a certain amount of time. And like I've definitely like done a lot of remixes for people and they're like shocked at how quickly I get it back to them. And I guess I could sit on it for a week and then send it. But I'm just like, here, take it. Like we're done here, right? We're good. And then clean my hands of it and move on.
You said you had mentioned something earlier, and I don't remember what it was, but I had this thought in my mind. Do you dislike obligations? Like if you have something, like if something's on the schedule, like I got to be there for that. Even something. Do you? No. Because my life is so open that like I need order in it. So stuff like this gives me something to focus on and be like, all right, Wednesday, 2:00, you got to do this. Oh, cool. Yeah.
And like the same way, like I have like, I play basketball 3 times a week. Like I got that happening. I got, I have like, like I work out, like I'm going to go do that today, like stuff like I need that kind of stuff for when I'm not touring and when I'm not like being particularly prolific music wise. Yeah.
Some sort of schedule, not necessarily as everything scheduled, but something in there. Yeah. That feels like a schedule so that like this day was Sunday and that day was Sunday. Otherwise it would just be, I don't know what fucking day it is.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like I have no problem with obligations. I have a big problem with expectations.
Sure.
But obligations are fine. Obligations are that I need them to kind of keep things rolling,
Well, you said this other thing too, about how quickly you can bang something out for someone. Mm-hmm. I often, people will be like, oh, how long did it take you to draw that? And like, really, it only took 2 hours. But I always say, well, fucking 25 years in 2 hours.
Yeah. So. Exactly. That's 100%. I mean, like when people ask me about the Space Werewolves album, they're like, well, how long did it take to make? I was like, well, all the beats that it came from, I had made already. But when I started to make the album and put them all together, that took a month and a half.
Yeah.
But I've been making those beats for however long I was making them. Like that, like there's like the hard work had been done. Right. Now it's just like me sitting back and like organizing and arranging and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I have this new segment on my show. The timer did technically go off, so I just want to finish up a couple other things like for another 5 minutes if you're cool. But I do have this new thing where I do a trivia question for people. I find that people like to answer trivia questions. So I'll give you the option. You want it easy, medium, hard, or impossible?
What's the topic?
They're random trivia.
Oh, I mean, like, are you pulling it out of like a
card? Trivia? Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Medium. Because I don't.
Medium's good to go because everyone that I've had on, they've gone for hard and no one's got the answer right.
I don't know enough about things to know it's hard questions.
All right, here we go. Which 3 events traditionally feature in a triathlon?
Triathlon, is that the one where it's like land, water, and is that one? Am I thinking that?
Yep.
So it's running, bike riding, and swimming?
That's right. Huh. Though the hardcores would call it cycling.
Biking. We call it biking, right?
Spaceballs or Star Wars?
Spaceballs.
Fuck yes.
By leaps and bounds. I don't give a shit about Star Wars.
Do you have pets?
No.
Have you ever had pets?
I had a dog when I was a very small child, but it died when I was like 4. I tried to get my mom to give me a basset hound when I was like in 5th grade, and she was like, "You're crazy." And then,
especially in New York.
Yeah. I mean, like it, and I'm allergic to and dislike cats. On top of like separate of each other, but also combined. But I think one day I will get a dog, but I need to stop traveling and touring.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you pre-pandemic? Is a lot of your career touring? Do you do a lot of touring?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
owning a dog and touring is.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's always people that would take care of it, but it's I feel like in order for me to have a dog, I'd really need to just like focus on being a dog owner. It also it changes your life as far as like, got to get home and walk like my social life would change. Not that I'm particularly, I'm not like a party animal, but like I do have stuff I want to do, and
it's still something that you like it changes there changes almost everything that you do in your regular life. It's
I don't have kids for a reason, like I'm like I like my freedom. I like to be able to travel,
and especially where you are, you can't just install a dog door and it can't just let itself out. Like that's amazing.
Although I do have a backyard.
Oh, you do?
I do, but it's communal. But hey, I don't know.
Does it smell like dog piss out there though?
It has in the past, but it hasn't in the one dog that was back there that was like shitting and pissing died a couple of years ago. So it's been clean, but yeah, I don't really want to clean up someone's shit.
No, no.
There's a lot of things about dog, and I'm like, and I'm mildly allergic to dogs too. But I like dogs, so
yeah, they're cool. They're cool to have.
Yeah.
I have one other thing I put on the show that I definitely like. I actually have two other things that I have to get it out before I wrap up. One is random information that I like to share random information with people.
Okay.
So this information she has heard because I'm reusing it. But it's a term called heterochromia, and it is when someone has multicolored eyes, so like a brown eye and a blue eye or whatever, and it doesn't always have to be just the one eye is different than the other. It can just be one eye or both eyes have different colors in them. So that's called heterochromia. So you can use that for your future dates or something.
I've seen that. I've seen that before. I've seen people with those. It's wild. I've seen dogs with that.
Yeah, dogs usually. The husky is the number one animal that has that takes place in. It actually mostly happens in females, in humans, and from ages 2 to 19. So on that note, here you say you've seen people with it. I have 4 people who have this. They're famous people. I'm going to use them as Sophie's choices for you, and I'll say them.
Okay.
I always wanted to be a game show host, dude.
I know.
So these are 4. I'm going to give you. They're going to be Sophie's choices, and you're going to pick whichever one you like out of them. But then you need to also say which one of them has heterochromia.
So not all 4 of these people had it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so how many? One person of this has heterochromia?
No. So sorry. Yeah, I didn't explain that. There's going to be 4 different Sophie's choice questions.
Okay.
All 4 of these people have it, but I'm going to put them with someone else.
Oh, so I am I supposed to pick the person who I think has heterochromia, or pick the person
so first you'll pick which one you would choose out of the 2, and then you decide which of those. Okay. So the first one is Christopher Walken or Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Walken would be my choice of person. Yeah. And Christopher Lloyd has heterochromia.
No. Yeah, Christopher Walken has heterochromia.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. All right, here's this one. Mila Kunis or Mia Jovovich?
Mila Kunis. Although Mila Jovovich was the best, the hottest girl I'd ever seen at some point in my life. Yeah. Like the Blue Lagoon era. But Mila, Mila Kunis must be Mila Kunis because Jovovich has those piercing green eyes. Yeah, and you were right. Yep, good choices on those. I would have picked Mia Jovovich for my pick, but because I loved Fifth Element. So. She was cute in that. Yeah. Okay, Dan Aykroyd or Dan Marino? I guess I'm gonna go Dan Aykroyd. I guess. Don't really give a shit about either of them, but for Trading Places alone, I'll give it to Dan Aykroyd. Great movie. I hate the Blues Brothers. Oh, you do? Oh man, shit! I don't get it. That's my favorite movie. I don't get it. The blues. The music? Yeah. Not particularly, but I just don't get the whole. I don't get the Blues Brothers as a thing. I just don't. I'm just like, what? So they're just 2 Chicago guys that sing. What the fuck is this? I just don't get it. Is Dan Marino the guy with the hydro? No, it's Dan Aykroyd. Oh shit! All right. That's funny because Blues Brothers is like seriously one of my favorite movies, but I can't explain to you what it is. It's something that I saw when I was a kid, and I was like, I don't get it. And then every 10 years, I kept being like, maybe it'll. And now I'm like, oh no, no connection. I just don't like this. I just don't like this at all. Hey, you know what you don't like? Yeah. All right, one last one. Carly Simon, and this one was worse because your last name is, I think, yeah. So Carly Simon. My dad dated her sister. Did he really? So I would have not been born, but I would have been a Simon. Oh, but great, Simon. Simon says Simon. Carly Simon or Simon Pegg? I'm gonna go just Carly Simon because she was almost my mom, and And I'm gonna say that she had the eye thing.
Yep, you're right.
She did? Okay.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Your dad dated?
Apparently, that's what I found out later, that he dated Carly Simon's sister, who must have been older than her.
Wow, how fucking awesome! Yeah. How interesting is that?
My dad was quite the ladies' man in his time.
Apparently so.
He never lost his mojo.
Yeah, he never lost his mojo. All right, man. Hey, it was. Let me do my. I end them with a philosophical question, and then I just like to do an opportunity for you to like what anything we can promote. But the philosophical question for you to close out the session is: should people be allowed to sell their organs, and should organ donors be financially compensated?
Like living people, should they be allowed to sell their organs?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. It's their body. Let them do it. And should organ donors be compensated?
Yeah.
No, they're dead.
Yeah.
Do you mean the live organ donors?
Yeah, or even the dead ones to their family.
Nah, that's just helping science. I don't think that. I think that. I mean, if you're selling your organs and you're alive, then you should definitely be compensated.
Yeah, it's the danger of that, though, that like crackheads will be like selling off everything.
Yeah, but I feel like you'd have to pass tests to get to like, like do we want your organs?
Yeah.
Are they working all right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that yes to both. Yes to the selling organs and compensation. That's like it's a personal it has nothing to do with your family.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it was awesome having a chat with you. What's in your future? What should people know about what's coming up?
Well, Garbology is out now. I have a album with this dude Elliot Lip. That's like an instrumental album that's coming out next year. We go by Liphead, and it's going to be called. Oh man, what's it called? Fuck. Oh, the album's called In the Nude. In the nude. I plan. I'm going to be in Utah actually in February.
Oh
in
shit!
Salt Lake City.
What do you know? What dates? Oh fuck!
I can tell you right now. Hold on. I'm planning. I just got to move stuff.
That's
around.
okay. While you're looking it up, I'll say, well, thanks for putting out another something that has head in the title. That'll give me more to use for a future Sophie's choice. Because
what are you going to be in Utah for?
I'm playing a show on February 19th at
that's Adrian's birthday
at the Urban Lounge. Supposed to go to Europe in May, but we'll see how this new variant does. So we'll see if that.
Fingers crossed for you and for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they just found the first case in California, so we are good to go.
I'm sure it's been here a while.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
I know. I was just at Costco listening to your album, which we talked about in the beginning, and I thought for a second, should I get toilet paper? And then I was like, no, he's got enough T-shirts I can cut up.
I'm a T-shirt fool, dude.
But also, they're not going to run out of toilet paper. I think I wonder. It'd be a lot. That'd be full on bedlam if.
But it really did cross my mind. I was like, this is new variant. Let's see, toilet paper.
I mean, you're at Costco. What better place to get a lot of toilet paper?
Yeah, but here in Utah, we got families that have 52 kids and 16 wives, so like they stock up,
True.
How do you prefer people to stay connected with you and to get your music? What's your preferred method for that? I
mean, my Twitter and Instagram and Facebook I'm Blockhead NYC on Twitter and Instagram, and the real Blockhead on Facebook. And but also like my
Bandcamp. Do you have a Bandcamp?
Bandcamp. I got Spotify. I got all the stuff that everyone has. I got all that.
Yeah, but you're cool with people just streaming it, or you would like them to be at your Bandcamp and buying stuff?
No, I actually don't have a problem with the streaming thing.
Okay.
I think it's I get checks from them. It works.
Well, man, it was a fucking true honor to have you on the show. I loved talking with you. It was it was a real fun chat. So
yes, this was fun. Hopefully I don't get canceled for having opinions about Rick Rubin.
I'll tell you what, someone's gonna figure out a way to Red Hot. You're gonna get fucking messages from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's fine.
Yeah, you can stand your ground. You have a solid opinion on it. Well,
exactly.
All right, man. Have a great rest of your day today, and I'll reach out with you with information about getting you the drawing and all of that later.
Awesome.
All right, man. Okay. Cheers. Thanks again.
Okay, guys. Have a good day.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
You too.
True crime, fantasy, action, adventure, game show. It's all sci-fi. I'm all Play-Doh. I like data that turn brains to egg yolk. It turn royals to regular John or Jane Does.
Well, that was a fun chat. I like speaking with guys like that have that fun and like to kind of mess around. Do you think it's a New Yorker thing?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, a lot of New Yorkers are jerks.
Well, but I was just saying, like, it seems like a lot of New Yorkers are able.
I don't know.
Yeah, you just now look at us. We're all fucking putting out our opinions.
No, I mean that's what they get portrayed as. So I just.
Well, that's why I was wondering, because it seems like New Yorkers have they're brazen, yeah. Brazen. But because they're very able to put your opinions out and stand firm on them. I don't know if that's necessarily a New Yorker thing. That's what I was wondering. But so go check out that Garbology album. It's really fantastic. And Adrian says go check out while you're at your Costco, your local shopping center. Throw an earbud in and listen to the Werewolves album.
You don't have to be at Costco to do that.
No, any shopping.
It was you don't have to do shopping. It was good. It was good and like good vibes on it, I thought.
Yeah, all of his music's really good. He told you he's been doing it for 20 plus years. He knows what he's doing. I haven't drawn a sloth for a little while, so I was glad that he picked sloth because this was a fun one to draw. And I gave the sloth kind of like a little blockhead. These are the blockheads from Gumby, and then I didn't get to fill it in here. But did you notice this?
Yeah, it's got the Charlie Brown sweater on.
Yeah, because that girl, she's so freaking cruel to.
What are you talking about?
She calls.
Who?
I can't remember her name. Lionel. No, what's her name? She's the one that always calls.
On Peanuts?
Yes, she's the one that always calls Charlie Brown a blockhead.
Oh.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
So the dark black-haired girl.
Yeah.
She's so freaking rude to.
So during
Charlie
that
Brown.
interview, I was trying to, or whatever you want to call it. I know you don't like calling it interview. I was looking up like what significant things that happened in 1917. The year his dad was born.
Grandpa. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking my grandpa was born in 1921.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Anyway, there was everything that happened was so historical. None of it registered in my brain. Like it was so from way back then. I have no idea. Like British Parliament did the thing.
Yeah, that's basically a whole other world away.
But isn't that when the last pandemic was? The
1918
flu?
Shit, you should have brought that up.
Yeah, World War I had just started or something. That was the only event that I knew.
Yeah, I mean, his dad died, back, I think in 1997 or something like that. Well, he said he was in his 20s, so. Yeah. No, that was cool. I thought that was a great way to start out a conversation. That was cool to chat.
That's pretty wild.
It's way wild. I swear when I was looking up information on him and I saw his dad was an artist, so I started looking at his dad's work, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I noticed, said he was born in 1917 and that he was a World War II artist, and I was like, or he did paintings of World War II. I was like, how does that fucking make any sense? Because Buckethead and I are the exact same age, pretty much. So
that's wild that his dad was in Japan when, to end the war, they dropped the horrific bombs on those guys.
Yeah, if you read
that's crazy.
He was on, that painting came from him right there when they surrendered. I was going to say, I got to get rid of that term I was going to say, because I was about to say it. But when I saw his dad was born in 1917 and realized we were the same age, my dad was born in 1951.
That was like his older brother is older
75.
than your dad.
I know, it's crazy. Well, that was a great chat. I really enjoyed it. Anything else that we should catch up on? If you want to get my artwork, that would be really cool. You can get artbyty.com. I'm going to have books on there until they're gone. Then after that, you'll have to buy them at Barnes & Noble or bookstores, which is fine.
You don't think you'll have a link to the website?
I will. I'll have a link to the website. But once my supply of books are gone, I can order more for my own and then sell them. But they'll be on demand, or you can get them at the bookstores. The which is fine. I like you to have the book, but if you're into supporting the artist, the publishing company, the publisher takes, like 60-70% of that. So I'll get, we'll make the money off of that. It's not about the money. But
what are you saying?
I'm saying get the books now, pre-order. Well, by the time this episode airs, the pre-ordering is out. But I might still have some on the website by the time this episode is out. So if you want to get the books and you haven't got one, you can get them there. Get the artwork from us. Check out all of the past episodes of DOD45. Hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode, however you catch it.
Thumbs up if you like it.
Yeah, give us a thumbs up. Make some comments on there. That makes a difference to how many people we get out to.
And if you are listening and not watching, if you review the podcast.
Oh, can you do that?
Like on the other podcasts.
Apple Music?
The ones aren't Spotify.
Apple, yeah, all the other
Wherever
ones?
you get your podcast.
You can
on iTunes.
You can do reviews on them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. That scares me.
And then in the comment section, tell us your top 5 on your Spotify playlist.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. Yeah, good thinking. Tell us your top 5 for 2021. Or if you're watching this episode and it's 2060...
no, we just got really old.
Well, maybe it'll be time to have a baby.
Hey, maybe the world is still going on and there's still such thing as the internet.
So that's a way to look at it. Hey, you know what? We always hear the story of the old dad, the dad that was born in 1917 that was 70. But you don't ever hear about the mom that was 60, 70. When
you do sometimes.
Do you?
Random, occasional stories. That makes headlines.
Yeah, of course, because that's that's very interesting. That's a whole interesting topic, though, that age, having a kid. There's a lot to discuss there. We won't do it. Well, thanks for joining us on DOD45. It was a pleasure chatting with you. I'm going to start doing a little more Twitter, maybe.
I got to pee.
Okay, well, Blockhead inspired me to do
some
tweeting. Go follow him on Twitter. He's funny.
Now I've got to go take my Instagram off.
I know. Well, thanks for joining us. You know all the spots at Art by Ty. I know Adrian's got to go to the bathroom this time. So, okay, everyone. Thanks for joining us. That's it for now. Cheers.
There are thoughts in my head that take place in my bed, and I don't have to lie, but I do that instead. Things that need to be said, poison in my brain like lead.
Thanks for watching this episode of DOD45. I hope that you enjoyed yourself. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I don't want you to ever miss an episode. Also, stick around my YouTube page for a bit. There's a whole array of videos to enjoy, including time-lapse videos, drawing tutorials, and live streams. It's like an amusement park. Now click that subscribe button and go watch another episode of DOD45. Cheers.